Hello, Mayor Meet everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene, and of course, today is Monday. It is the normal morning show, and we're talking, at least briefly. People ask me some questions about my high school career, and I decided to go back and take a look and see how much the high school has changed in the last 20 years. I'm going to say 20 years because that sounds about right. Considering I graduated in 1987, the school went through a renovation project in the mid 90s. Come on, Rusty. Come on. Oh. So, it's 2022 now, so I'm going to say 20 years. And so I looked, and some of the school looks the same as I remember it, but some of it has changed. Alright. Now, the Gilbert School is gotten pretty big. It's kind of interesting how they added 7th and 8th grade to it, but otherwise it pretty much looks the same in some ways. In some ways it does not. Okay? I don't know how else to describe it, but to say is that I found it very interesting and remembering back when I was in the Gilbert School, how much it's changed. It's just mind-blowing. Of course, I graduated from the class of 1987, so, yeah. We did not have, to my knowledge, a lot of international students. We did not have on-campus dorms for the students from other countries or from other states, for that matter. But it was still just an interesting trip through archives and trying to pull what I could through Google pictures. And so, yeah, it was just interesting to look at that and see how much it has changed in the time since I was there. Now, of course, what also has changed is nothing to do with that, but it has to do with the fact is that I see more and more people returning to the channel again and new people coming in. I do want to thank you for coming in. I want to thank you for becoming a part of the morning routine, and we'll try to get more afternoon shows in like we did for this special on Sunday. We're going to be having those on Friday and Saturday. Sunday was just a special to make up for the but we didn't take calls on Saturday night. I can see my hair is growing out. I gotta have to get to the salon this week, get my hair done. It is also raining today. Expected rain is to be about 3 centimeters of rain. So should be pretty good weather-wise. And let's see what else we got. We have Twitter. Yes, I know I'm live. Back in school with Darkroom Essentials. Yeah. I got a chance to see their, they showed a picture of their on-campus TV studio, which actually made me look green with envy. Okay, it's not much bigger than mine. What the fact is it has teleprompters on it. But the reality is, with my eyesight, a teleprompter would be useless. How you doing? I don't understand your name there. I don't understand what the name means or what it represents. But how are you doing anyway? So just interesting. Do you think that I sent a message to the Gilbert School, the TGSTV on YouTube, explaining that I was a graduating class in 1987, and I would like to come by and visit the school. I also have a channel on YouTube. And so today, the Gilbert School has a YouTube channel. It's called TGSTV. Call me Chill, okay. Now, let's see. Who else is coming on here? Anybody? Probably not. It's Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. It's just another day of the week. Alright, copy that. Paste that. Enter that. Pin it. Well, it doesn't matter for me. My day doesn't end. My day does not sleep. This is absolutely true. I actually didn't get a lot of sleep last night because I was watching videos. But, so 10 a.m. is a normal time. And I was just pointing out on earlier two things. Number one is that we will be having more afternoon shows on Friday after I get home from my hair salon, and Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern time to replace the 7 o'clock shows, because that seems to work better for me. No sleep to Brooklyn. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Copy. So, another thing is, I explained that I have been talking a little bit about my high school career when it was going to the Gilbert School here in Winsted on Discord. And I reached out to the Gilbert School TV channel on YouTube, saying I'd like to visit the school sometime to see how it changed since I graduated in 1987. And that would be kind of fun to see. I'd like to see how much it's changed since I went there. But I already can tell you that it has changed in some ways. The number one is the fact that it has gotten so much bigger than it was when I was a kid. So much bigger. Yeah, I mean, since they have their own TV studio, this would be a good chance for the students to actually put together a program, and then I could share it on my channel. Remember, the fact is that they are young enough that, we have to worry about COPPA. So we can't go too crazy with lots and lots of faces and stuff like that. But it would still be a nice exchange to show how much the school has changed. Now, I should explain something about COPPA a little bit. COPPA, which is designed to deal with mostly children under the age of 15, is designed to protect them from exploitation and identity theft. And so for that reason, you will notice that my content says not for kids. In this case, the Federal Trade Commission consider a kid anyone under 15. And in that case, I pretty keep it simple. I don't know why you would say it that way. That sounds kind of rude. Would you like to rephrase that? So something a little more constructive? But, yeah, so, the chances to actually talk to the younger generation when I was there and explain how it's changed, would be fascinating to see. How you doing, now? Thank you. That sounds a lot better. And just the last one you said, that just sounded like like you didn't like the stream at all. Well, kind of didn't like the stream at all. I just was thinking about that. What would I say if they said to me, well, that'd be mighty fine for you to come on over. Just come meet us in the office and we'll go out there and start doing tours, and maybe the local, what they call it, Live at the Hive show will be like covering you for the 2-minute morning segment. I'm like, oh Lord. Yes, they have their TV. They don't. It's not like when I was in high school. They went from having a public address audio system to a public address with TVs in the classrooms, and it's kind of a shock for me. So. And of course, they expanded the building so much that I really can't believe how much is. First of all, they built these on-campus dorms for international and students from other states. Okay, it is a private school, by the way, for those who do not know. It's a public high school in Winston, in a sense, because the William L. Gilbert Foundation had worked with the towns of Winston and East Heartland to provide an education there. That was made official in my dad went here to the Gilbert School when it used to be where the college is now. That was where the Gilbert School originally was. And that is the original school building, by the way, Founders Hall. And the thing that's amazing about that is I went there for community college. My father went there for high school. As did a lot of my relatives. However, between 1947 and 1958, 9 years, the Gilbert School was temporarily not open to the town of Winsted or East Heartland, and so some of my relatives went to Regional 7 instead. Interesting history about that. I do. Look at my description on my channel. It's right there underneath the video description. I don't usually use the CashApp much because after Beaver Time died, I never got any more CashApp money. So I would say I would recommend you use the donation button. So that's just on the screen. But I do have CashApp, but I don't even check it. So if I'm once in Great Will, I'll schlep over there and look, but that's about it. Not much. Just talking about a couple different things, like my high school career. Some people started asking me about that on Discord, and I said, okay, fine, I'll answer some of your questions. One of the things I can tell you right now is our high school had 4 floors on Building A, 2 floors in Building B, and it was really kind of hard to get between classes in 3 minutes. You had 3 minutes to get from class 1 to class 2. Now, obviously, if it was on the same floor, it wasn't so hard. But when it was on the, like, if you were on the 3rd or 4th floor, because you consider the cafeteria to be the first, if you were on the 4th floor and you had to go down to the basement or down to the cafeteria, or go from the cafeteria up to the 3rd floor for, say, English class, social studies, that was a heck of a trip, and you had to be fast. There was no, sometimes the teachers would give you a little bit of leeway, but I had life cereal for breakfast. Why does he scream at me? Well, part of it is because I have lousy hearing, which is part of it. But it's not the only reason. I think deep down he has an anger issue that he has never ameliorated. He has anger issues. He won't tell you that, but he does. It's just, I don't know how people like it get so mad at everybody in the world, especially if somebody happens to be successful. But something like I would say, it's if the Gilbert School said to me, "Hey, why don't you go on over and talk to the kids?" I'm going to tell the kids the truth. Success is relative. You ain't gonna, to Ed, he thinks success is absolute. No, it's not. I see myself as a success within the abilities I have. Some people. Let me turn this fan on over here. Let's get a little breeze going and let's get a little stale in here. Oh. Success, like I said, is a relative thing. Depending on who you are, success is very different from success for another person. Excuse me. No, I had some life cereal. Anyway, so that's what I say about success. What one person considers success of a major magnitude, someone might just say is just barely any success at all. No, I never took any pizza from that. In fact, I buy food for the house too. I buy a lot of food with my food stamps. Well, yeah, that's a good point. You should bring up something that is also something that was taught in the scriptures. But that's where YouTube comes in, is because I'm actually bringing in a small little revenue. It's not like, again, there's the relative success thing. For me, being on YouTube and doing the morning show and doing twice a week afternoon shows is success. The fact is that I do bring home a small little income about once every 2 to 3 months. It's not a huge amount, but it does make a difference. It does help offset the costs. So, that's a very interesting point. All right, now let's see if we can get some more interesting points up here. My mother contacted me on Facebook and wanted to know how I was doing. I said, I've been doing fine. I said, I don't have Facebook Messenger on my phone, so I don't get a chance to look at the Messenger until I sit down on the Mac on my desktop, and then I can look at it. By the way, let's talk about success. Success, by the way, is it's raining outside. Currently, the temperature is 21 degrees Celsius with expected high of 23. Is it drizzle coming down? Okay. Today is 90% chance of precipitation. Tuesday is 100% chance of rain. It's going to be soggy, people, with a high of 19. Wednesday, 50% chance of rain, a high of 21. Thursday, mostly cloudy, high of 24. Saturday, sunny with a high of 26. For Friday. Saturday will be a high of 27. Mostly cloudy. Sunday will be mostly cloudy with a high of 26. Monday will be 50% chance of rain, high of 25. Tuesday will be 30% chance of rain, a high of 24. And Wednesday will be a high of 25 with 40% chance of rain. So it's gonna be cooler weather for the next few days. Let's take advantage of that. Let your electric bill take a break. Turn your air conditioner to a warmer temperature. Well, you know, the thing is that I still want to get some new things done on the show too. We are expanding into. I got to get some more tarot readings, and I kind of put those on the sideline for a bit. Because that's the international standards of measurement, which means it provides a consistency for my audience, for all countries have access to full knowledge of Celsius. It is the international standard of measurements, which is used worldwide. Sure, there's some local variations of what temperatures like Rankine and Fahrenheit, but Celsius is a standard that was established a long time ago by the scientific community. There's nothing wrong with that question. Skynet, he asked a valid question, and I just answered it. So why did you time him out for it? He didn't say anything really nasty. He just wanted to know some information. Alright, well, why don't we pull up for today some oracle cards. Let's just pull up 2 oracle cards for today. We got the Pure Magic Oracle, and we have the Universal Folk Oracles. I'm just going to pull these 2 cards because they're pretty quick and they're not going to take too hard to really figure them out as we go. They do have books for these, but I don't need the books for pulling a quick and fast readings. What's the general overall energy for today, Mother God, Father God, Angel Spirit, guys? What is the general overall feeling energy for today? Okay. We have herbal craft, regeneration, plant medicine, caretaker, and bloomer. Very interesting. I've seen that card several times. And the other cards. One more card, please. Good enough. Let's get one card out of this deck. Warrior, focus, assertiveness, rise, action. I'm gonna put one more card up. Just I've seen that warrior card before. Curiosity, experience, play, uncover, and ask, which is what Chill's trying to do, is to learn and ask questions. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no stupid questions, by the way. Not really. I mean, that's what I was always taught. The stupid question is the one that you never thought of asking or were afraid to ask. So, herbal craft right now. Yeah. How you doing, Sky Steve? Let's get the panel open. Actually, the panel, I'm already on the panel, but I've actually, many years ago, summoned Satan, which was not something I enjoyed very much. I don't like dealing with the devil. I really don't. So I like to keep myself away from him. But I won't do that again. Yes, I did know about that. Congratulations. It's a lady, I know that. I don't know anything about her. She's a blonde. She's a blonde. That's all I know.
Hello, Michelle.
How you doing?
Hello. 1, 2, testing.
It's a female prime
Hello,
minister. So, that's all I know. I don't know anything about her background, her history, or I don't even remember her name. I just know I saw it in the news. So, how do you think she's going to do compared to Boris Johnson?
Michelle.
What?
She's not actually a she-male. She's married. Her name is Liz Truss.
Okay, she's married. Okay, Liz, I didn't even mention about her marital status.
Yeah, she's married.
Is she hot?
Yeah, she's 47, same age as me.
Okay.
Well, I don't really look at women in that kind of content. But yeah, she's not a bad-looking woman with makeup. But she's the same age as me, so I don't really know. It's sad,
I hope she does better
Michelle,
than
when
Boris
politics.
Johnson, because Boris Johnson in the end was getting kind of
Yeah,
unimpressive.
well, now that yeah, yeah. Well, now we're getting Liz Truss is going to put a cap on the electricity and bills. And I always, now that I look back on it, it's just a problem, reaction, solution. Cause the problem and then come in and go get the reaction and then in comes the Prime Minister and then everybody loves her. It's specifically designed to get you to love your Prime Minister. We must love our leaders, Michelle. You have the
Um,
floor.
I'm more like when it comes to the leadership is that if they respect me as a citizen and treat the citizens of the country that they administer to, I'd say we will respect them back. But if you don't
Yeah,
respect your people, then we're
yeah.
not going to
Well,
respect you back.
yeah.
Examples come up with like
Yeah, that,
when you start thinking something like what Joe Biden said about the Republican Party and the Republican supporters of Donald Trump. That's an example, good way to get yourself into a real pickle of a problem. Because he alienated a huge
well,
portion of the
I
American
don't think Trump.
population.
Well, I know what you're saying. There's a couple of points there I'd like to respond to. Yeah. Well, how do you, first point, how do you really respect the country? Because everybody's going to have different opinions. And I feel alienating people is not a good way to go. But did he? Or is it, but when people get into power, they still have to work with the opposition. It's not a case of, right, we've won now, so we all have to work together. You still have to have a strong opposition. You
Yeah.
still have to have somebody that will stand up and say, look, you can't go too far, Mr. President, but you can't do that without disagreeing with him. That's the problem, Michelle.
Yeah, I think that his decision to make the kind of a speech shows a lack of discernment on his part.
That's a good point. I don't think he'll run again. I think a lot of that is I think he's just using that for his business ideas. I think he's probably saying, I know what I'll do.
I
I'll
think if
give
he
off the
tries to
impression
run
that,
again, I think he will be wasting his money
yeah, I
because
think so.
he's just not got what it takes to
I
reunite
think
this country under common
Michelle,
leadership.
yeah. The first time he was serious and he won. The second time, I think it's just a PR stunt. If he can run as a president, he'll just use that as his business. I'm a presidential, and he'll have his spin doctors in there, Michelle. He'll have people in there that'll turn that to his advantage. He doesn't even need to win the election. He just needs to turn up at a couple of rallies, say, I am a contender, and then he'll just use that for his business, and then eventually he'll disappear, and then he'll probably make even more money off the second, that threat of running for office. They'll probably make even more money.
Yeah. Well, I think, like, why did the Democrats keep pulling all these old farts up to run for president? It's beyond me. Okay, I'm sorry, Donald Trump. I have to throw you in the old farts department. I mean, you're a good guy and everything, but it's time for the younger generation to take some responsibility and run for office. This is, I mean, you have
yeah.
85.
Well,
You're gonna have by the time Trump is done. If he does win the 2024, in 2028 he will be 84 years old, 83, 84 years old. That is a really long old age.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Michelle, you have to be over 35 to be the president of the United States. And yes, it is Scottish.
But it sounds to me more like they're
Queen of
saying
YouTube
is
asked,
there's
yeah.
no 35-year-old that's suitable for being president of the United States. Come on. Do you mean to tell
Well,
me in all the ranks of American citizens who are born in this country, you mean to tell me you cannot find a 35-year-old that would want to run for president of the United States?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people go for the experience as well. Obviously, you could be ageist and say, well, you're a bit too old. I mean, as far as Biden's concerned, I don't trust his actual
I mean, I know
his
that
demeanour.
the hours
I
are
don't think.
long, the pay is okay, but certainly there must be younger candidates who are qualified to run for president of the United States. And I think I think if the Democrats or the Republicans want to continue to find candidates that speak to the younger population at large, we need to find a president that's in the 40s to 60s, and that'd be a start in the right direction, right? I mean, that's 20 years age group. Certainly, we know Ron DeSantis fits in that category. We know that Tulsi Gabbard fits in that category. Why not? Tulsi Gabbard was a moderate Democrat. She had the skills. She had the experience. She was in the military. That would have made her a good candidate. Why was she never given a chance to successfully get endorsed by the Democratic primaries to run for president? I think she could have done a good job.
A lot of good points in there. A lot of good points, Michelle. But the thing is, you could say it's ageism when you're not allowing a president to be 84. But then again, the Constitution does state you have to be at least 35 years old, and the VP needs to be 35, I think, as well. I think we had the youngest politician that was ever elected, I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago in Westminster. She was 20 years of age. She was nicknamed the baby of the house because she was the youngest person to be elected since 1920. I think to say you need to be 35, I don't think that is right. But then again, it is in the Constitution, Michelle.
Why does being in the Army help when you were 20 help you to be president 20 years later? Because, one, it gives you a little bit of knowledge of how the military works, which the president is also the commander-in-chief. So that gives you an understanding how to work with the military. Okay? And that's one thing that the president also is in charge of as the commander-in-chief.
Yeah, well, the president, obviously, the Queen of YouTube asked that question, and it is a good question. I think the reason why people look towards military leaders is because of discipline, and also the fact that if you have somebody that is a president who is an ex-military person, they need to work with the military to defend it. The biggest part of being the president is defending the Constitution, upholding the Constitution, but also working with the military because the military defends the whole country. And that's why you need somebody who has a relationship with the military. So that's why in America it's very, very important, because the military is a big, big thing in America, Michelle.
Well, okay, John McCain may just not have been a good candidate, but he did have some training in the military. But it doesn't mean that you're going to win this because you were serving in the military or you're a POW. I mean, that didn't... that doesn't always work out that way. But, first things, gosh, Steve, I'm surprised how much you know about the American Constitution. A lot of people don't even know that about the age requirement. A lot of people think it's 45. I think it was 43 originally. But then think about...
well, I mean, I have done a lot of reading into the Constitution. I've read through most of the amendments. There's 27 amendments. First Amendment, freedom of speech. Second Amendment, firearms. Don't know about the third. I know the fourth is searches and seizures. The fifth... Well, what I was surprised at, Michelle, was when I studied it, I realised that some actual amendments deal with more than one issue. The Fifth Amendment is something that is taken in court which protects a person from self-incrimination, but it also protects against having your property taken without due process of law.
Right,
that's
exactly.
Another thing that,
unlawful search and seizure, which
that's the Fourth Amendment.
I don't want to get too much into this because I got a feeling YouTube will get all up in arms about this. About what happened when Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump. His lawyers could point out that they actually violated the Fourth and possibly the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution Bill of Rights.
Well, that's a very good point.
Because they didn't really have a
get,
justifiable cause to do what they did.
well, you need probable cause for a warrant. That's true. I mean, the probable cause can be challenged in court. But what I was going to say is you're getting mixed up between the Fourth and Fifth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment deals with illegal searches and seizures and states that law officials mustn't have a warrant before they can come onto your property. But the Fifth Amendment deals with self-incrimination, but it also deals with if a police officer pulls you over at the side of the road and you've got 50 grand in your back seat and it's legitimately earned. If a police officer takes that without following due process of law, you can sue the police officer because they're not allowed to do that. You are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The onus is on the police officer to get a warrant and prove that that is not your cash or that it's drug cash. That's the Fifth Amendment deals with more than one issue. But the Fifth Amendment doesn't deal with illegal searches and seizures. That's the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I do agree with something that Skynet said, is that, well, that's true. You were, in the U.S. law, originally innocent until proven guilty. You know, nowadays, it's more like the Roman court system, where you're guilty until proven innocent, as was the case with all the stuff going on against Donald Trump. Now he has to prove he's innocent. And because the prosecution has already said you're guilty.
Well, a lot of that's court of public opinion as well, though. And I don't agree with how he's been treated. Whether you agree with the man or not, at the end of the day, you still have to follow the rule of law. You have a yardstick. That yardstick must apply to everybody. You can't just go out and say, we'll hound the guy because he's a Republican, we'll do this and we can get away with this because there's a lot of people don't like him. You can't behave like that. You have to follow the rule of law.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about the Patriot Act, guys. That is unfortunately still on the books. Ooh,
I don't think it'll ever change, Michelle. I don't think that'll ever go away. But I think there are certain situations where it could be used effectively, but it is unconstitutional. But the thing is, what annoyed me about the so-called Patriot Act is they actually started bringing in, and they were actually...
Yeah. Well, the thing is that when George W. Bush signed the Patriot Act, it was designed to basically do with a counteraction against what happened in 9/11. But the problem is that also basically usurped a lot of American civil liberties and rights. In the actions that were done.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Very, very good point. I don't think it'll ever be overturned. I think it'll always be there. But what scares me is I feel that a totalitarian dictator or whether any person in the office of the United States could possibly use that under certain circumstances. That's the frightening thing about it, Michelle.
First of all, I already have a channel. I've been spending most of my time on Michelle's channel. Yeah. But, well, you know, the thing is that the Patriot Act is always going up for renewal, so maybe if enough of the senators said, nope, we're not renewing it, screw this, then maybe they would do that. But they realize that with that act, it gives them something that, politicians love power. And it does. It gives them a lot of power.
Yeah. Well, that's true, but they already have the power. But the thing is, it's not them that has the power, it's the people who they instruct to act on that, like the police officers, the FBI, CIA. Well, the CIA cannot operate domestically. Only the FBI can operate domestically. Did you know that, Michelle?
Okay, that's true, yes. But what about the National Security Agency?
Well, they operate worldwide and domestically, I think, as far as I know. But I know that the Central Intelligence Agency does not operate domestically. They're not allowed to.
Right.
But that being said, there's a lot of other things, like, for example, there's a lot of breaches in that as well, though. Look, the NSA is a very good organisation. I mean, they're really, really good at, getting these terrorists and really kind of finding them and stuff. And I think they do a good job. They are needed. But the Central Intelligence Agency, people make the assumption it was set up to actually protect against communism and Russia. It was actually set up, it used to be the ONI, it used to be the Office of Naval Intelligence in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And before that, basically, it was actually set up as an organisation to protect capitalist interests or America's capitalist interests abroad. That's why the CIA was set up.
Did you know that the NSA was actually founded right after Roswell, New Mexico incident, 1947?
Actually, I didn't know that. I know the CIA came from the Office of Naval Intelligence, and I know they basically just changed their name. I think it was 1953. No, I didn't know about the NSA. I know that the Roswell, New Mexico incident, I don't know what to believe. I really don't. I believe that there's a fake alien agenda. I think they're going to bring in UFOs, I think. I remember, was it President
I don't
Reagan
know
or
if it was
somebody
fake
said...
or real, but the fact of the matter is it did, I have seen some of the footage of the actual autopsy. So I think there's something going on. The humanoid type aliens in the footage that died in the crash, they were dissecting. So they were looking at, the organs and everything. So the question is that fake or is that real? Well, let's put it this way. If it's not real, then where did they get the bodies? If it is real, where did they get the bodies? I guess it still has the question.
It's a very good point. I mean, I remember, was it Ronald Reagan came out and once said, can you imagine if a threat from extraterrestrials came to this planet where everybody was under threat, all of the United Nations and all of the countries would unite? And I think there is an argument that there will be there will be a world government at some point, but how it's going to come about, we don't know. But I feel that this agenda for the aliens and stuff like that is all part of the
and don't forget that Donald Trump was the one who actually created Space Force. And Space Force is to act as a defense not only against ETs, but of course against other hostile nations in space.
Well, that's it. Yeah, well, the Space Force thing was set up for that, but it was also set up to, I think, to actually try and actually defend against meteors as well, and meteors and asteroids, and try and find some way to deflect them. Is it possible? I don't know, Michelle. If they're big enough, I don't think even the biggest nuclear weapon in the world could take out an asteroid, Michelle.
Well, right now, from what I've heard, we don't necessarily have to worry at this very second about asteroids, comets, meteors from space right now. But we do have to deal with the sun, which is at the potential to constantly belch out a CME of great enough proportions if it's aimed towards Earth to cause a major damage to satellites and infrastructure on the planet. Similar to what happened with the 1859 Carrington event.
I think that's a very good point. I mean, CME, coronal mass ejections, are very, very dangerous. And it really, I know that if you have something plugged in and the mass ejection actually hits while we're facing the sun, then it can really do a lot of damage to our actual appliances along with all the infrastructure with it. Let's just hope that if it does hit, it hits when the Pacific Ocean is facing the sun and not America or Europe.
Well, here's the thing you need to keep in mind, though, with the solar flares. Even an X1 class flare, it affects things that are connected to long electrical lines. It's not going to blow up your watch, for example.
Sorry, Michelle. What did you say?
I said A solar flare, like an X1 class flare, is more likely to damage things that are connected by long wires, such as power grids, telephone grids. It's not going to destroy your wristwatch, okay? Because
No,
it's
I know
a
that, but
low
the
frequency
thing is,
event. But unfortunately, when you deal with a man-made, like higher level, like in the stratosphere, nuclear bomb going off, that generates an EMP on both all levels, low, medium, and high frequencies. That destroys even the microchips in the wristwatch, and that's something to
well,
keep in
that's true. But
mind.
the thing is, I don't. Well, I don't know why those kind of things. I think would only ever really be used in war. I don't think we'll ever have a nuclear war. Certainly not in my lifetime. I don't think we will. But then again, as far as the CMEs are concerned, there's not much we can do about that, Michelle.
Well, let's just hope to God that nobody decides to put a low altitude nuclear weapon up and blow it up in space and out there in the stratosphere. That would be major. That'd be major whoop ass damage right there. You know.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's very, very true. Anyway, Michelle, I'm going to go. I need to go and use the bathroom. But I'll let other people talk because I talk for Britain, I talk for Scotland. But thanks for speaking to me, Michelle.
Yeah. Well, I think that Donald Trump is likely to run again, 2024. I do think he is very likely, possibly going to be president again in 2024. He's still got the support. He still has a large majority of the support of the Republican Party. Ron DeSantis is also a very strong contender. So it could go either way. It could either be Trump or it could be Ron DeSantis as president, and the other is being a VP. One of the things that Ron DeSantis has is he has experience working as a governor in the state of Florida. So he understands more of the process of the executive branch of the government. True, the president is carries a little more weight than the governor of his state, but he does have that experience. I don't think Trump is done. I think that's what the Democrats want to try to do, because they realize that if Trump wins again, that he's going to undo all their little fantasies. And right now, we need to get some sort of stability in this country, which is something I wanted to talk to you, Dave, about that. Because of the fact is that I know that the United Kingdom has large deposits of coal. How come you guys aren't running your own power plants? You guys are so dependent on European gas. Even though you have the ability to make coal gas through the retorts and stuff of to take bituminous coal and turn it into a gas that can be used for heating and lighting. I'm surprised that that's not being re-explored, especially during this energy crisis. One thing I can think is it might take a while to build enough gasification plants to make. That takes years to do because of, planning, zoning, or even retrofitting anyone that may still be around. The environmentalists won't let us. Oh, for some reason we got disconnected as far as the voice goes. Well, I think that once they find out they're going to be freezing their yachts off this winter, I think that they're going to definitely be going, well, we got to do something different. Because we can't depend on Russian gas. And sure, we can get access to some of the gas from the North Atlantic through Norway, but is that going to be enough to provide the fuel for keeping people from freezing to death this winter? That's going to be a good question for you guys. well, we have a few too, but I think that your new, Prime Minister, House of Lords and House of Commons is going to have to re-examine this and see if, look, right now we have a bit of a crisis, and if we don't do something, then we're risking everything. But, it's really, oh man, it's really important that they do something about this. Because people are not going to be happy when they can't be able to turn the heat up a bit when it's cold. In the United States, we also have our own energy concerns. For example, California only has one nuclear power plant. And they, because of the drought, are concerned that they're going to have to shut the plant down because there's not enough cooling water. Other power plants still use cooling water too, including coal power plants. On the Colorado River, there is a coal power plant that uses like 16 million gallons of water of a day to cool the, to provide heat exchange. That water is also in short supply, so that one coal power plant in Colorado may have to close because there's not enough water in the rivers. No, I never seen the film Fight Club. We do have land gas rigs. I used to do security on them. Yeah, but is there enough gas coming in to compensate for all the need? See, now there's a shortage issue here. Right now, Germany people are going crazy looking for wood. Poland, they're going crazy buying coal at the coal mines to stock up for the winter time because there's just not, they're afraid that it's going to be freezing in the winter time, because the gas is going to be in a shortage supply. France, which has a large number of nuclear power plants, is planning to try to get them all online and ready to go as fast as possible to make sure that there's enough electricity to keep going for everyday life in the modern age. But I still think we can overcome this. But I think we also need to take a look at some of the realities. Well, number one, trying to rush in the Green New Deal as fast as they have has been a really bad move, because it's the Green New Deal, it's a great idea, but they're rushing it. And some things that they're doing are not actually planning ahead. I mean, that's a very common trend, right? Nothing motivates a human being more than finding a crisis. If you say to somebody by the year 2100, we're not going to have enough, fossil fuels to power the planet properly, and or we're going to basically asphyxiate ourselves into the ground, everybody's going to say, well, that's okay then, I'll still drive my gas guzzler. So we make an emergency, make a crisis, and all of a sudden we try to motivate people to do things like that. But at the same time, that results in a lot of waste and a lot of bad planning, and that's where the problem starts. So I think that's something to keep in mind. Resource-wise, if you're going to want to focus on making changes, you have to start by planning a plan that's cohesive, comprehensive, and doesn't leave people keep questioning about how this is going to work. Now, the Ukraine thing, I'm going to just briefly cover this because of YouTube's AdSense policies regarding Ukraine. It was a civil war, and it should have remained something between Russia and Ukraine, and not get every other country involved with. I don't think that picking sides is going to help anything. The other one is the Big C. We already know what that is, right? The Big C. You've had to deal with that for 2 years. That alone has pushed us over the precipice. That's what started the hyperinflation. But I do think we need a better plan. And we need to come up with something that works for the society that we all live in. Now, putting all your eggs in one basket, and I'm talking about energy basket, which also affects everything from the production of alcohol to drink to fertilizers for your agriculture to the consumption of making ethanol for your car, which takes away food from the mouths of humans. A lot of the stuff that was done doesn't really make a lot of sense. You know, what Joe Biden's doing to this country is making things more unstable. Can we discuss how and why he didn't throw me out on the porch? I went out on the porch on my own because he was playing music in the other room and I didn't want to get a copyright strike. So I came out on the porch because the weather was good, and I decided to do a video out there because the weather was decent. It was cool. It wasn't too hot. He didn't kick me out there. And he has a separate lease with the landlord. Like I said before, that results in some questions under housing law, which I can't answer because I'm not a housing law lawyer. But, how you doing, Krista? How, when you kick it out of this house? I can't. I don't have the legal right to do that. He ruined the night show. No, he didn't. It's just that the night show ended up running late because I had to take care of his shopping. Because I was wrapped up in his own law projects and wasn't even supervising the shopper for Instacart. Which resulted in everything just slowing down because of that reason. But that's the other answer to the question. How you doing, Krista? Well, again, as I said, I'm not a housing attorney, so don't ask me how to explain that one. But I don't have anything else to say about that. I had the Kung Flu 3 weeks ago. I'm clinically vulnerable with COPD. But I'm outside where it's cold. How you doing, Andrew? So come on, panel. We were just talking about a lot of different things all at once. So when Ed moved in, he made his own arrangements. No. No, unfortunately, it was going to be that way, but that's not the way the landlord wanted to do it. So it shares the food stamps with me. Okay, Andrew. No, my red did not go down. You're right about what you said there in the end queen of YouTube, is that Jimmy was the one who created this problem, not Ed. So, Krista, who was the individual you were talking about a couple days ago that you said that your landlord gave them the boot? Who were they? You don't have to give any first names. Why did the landlord give that person the boot? Yes, he does. He owns quite a few properties, actually. Now, by the way, Krista will be meeting up here with us next Friday. So next Friday, you'll be seeing Krista here on the channel. Okay. No, I probably don't know the person. But I do know that there's been a lot of legitimate people who have been evicted because they couldn't pay the rent. Hi, Anderson. How you doing? No, it's not quite exactly how that works. Me and Ed had known each other for almost 30 years. And I kind of missed him, and I wanted him to stay, which is the truth. And because I did miss him, because I realized after all those years that we could have probably been married by now and established ourselves with a long-term family relationship. But, then we find out that, he has issues that would make any relationship very difficult to deal with. So I don't think that's Ed's fault. I think it's more of my fault, I'll be honest. I think I was thinking that maybe I could, establish long-term relations. Okay, I gotta get Andrew on. Where's my cursor? There we go. Oh my God, tracking my cursor sometimes is so hard. All right, wait a minute. Maybe there we go. Okay, Andrew on. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good, Michelle. I was just getting some stuff for the infamous vet trips on Wednesday,
So
which is going to be.
So what did the doctor say?
Basically, they can't. They can give Valium to cats. They can do stuff like that, but it's a last resort. If that makes sense. They don't. It's more of a case of like they're worried in case she has breathing problems and stuff like that. So they don't want to use that as a first resort. If that makes sense.
Okay, so what is it? A cyst?
I won't know until Wednesday. Wednesday's the actual day, but what they've advised me before is to get a thing called Fellaway.
Okay.
It's like a similar thing to, something like a Valium type thing that might relax them. Obviously, I can't just go and give her my Valium,
So what exactly is it on her back?
Well, I won't know 100% until Wednesday. That's what I'm saying.
So you didn't go yet, or you're not? Are you waiting for a
No,
biopsy?
it's the actual visit was on Wednesday, Michelle.
Okay, that's right, Wednesday. I'm sorry, I got the date wrong. Okay.
That's okay. No, that's okay. That's fine. But so you got to prepare. What they're suggesting, I think I mentioned this last night.
No, Ed has never kissed me. As far as saying he was sorry, he has a couple times. But the thing is because he has anger issues, I think he needs to get those dealt with first.
Hello, Queen of YouTube. Hobo the Clown, Krista. How you guys doing today? Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. So they're suggesting things like putting, like cat treats in the basket. In the cat carrier. So she's fine to go up to the vets and things like that. It's just the thought of, because she's bigger. I mean, the only time she's been to the vets in her life was when she got her shots.
That's good.
And she's a lot bigger now than she used to be, so.
I remember when Rusty was just a tiny wee little kitten. I mean, he was small. I mean, he was 8 weeks old when I got him, and he was like, small cat. Now he's just big thing,
Yeah,
but then boy cats tend to get bigger anyway.
She's 3 years old.
Yeah.
She's only 3 years old, and she's a bruiser. She's no lightweight, that's for sure.
What's that? Oh yeah, she's no lightweight. Okay, yeah. But how's her temperament though? You said she's still active.
Yeah, I was saying it before. I mean, she's completely fine. I mean, she doesn't even know anything's going on. I mean, she runs about like crazy. She's still flying about the house. So I don't think it's anything serious. I personally think it probably is just a growth on her back, that it's nothing major. Unless I'm hoping is the case, but
I don't think it's anything major. I think it's probably a cyst. I mean, like, if the doctor thinks it's worth it, he could do a biopsy on it. But more than likely, he'll probably just say, let's just treat it, let's lance it, let's clean it out and
cut it off. She doesn't know it's there. Yeah, Queen, I've been home for a couple of days.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really good. It was good to just actually have that change of scenery. I am doing it again in February, but
well, before you came on, we were talking about a couple of things, including the fact is that number one is the situation with the energy crisis in Europe right now, in that despite the fact that the UK has a large amount of coal deposits. That they're
I
not
don't
really
think.
using the coal
Yeah,
deposits.
but Michelle, what they're trying to say to us though, they're trying to get us away from coal. But I don't see how we can get away from coal because how are we going to survive? You know, we're going to have to rely on our nuclear stations and stuff like that. Again, we're going to have to build more, in my opinion. Because if we
Yeah.
can't get it from Russia, what can we do?
I mean, but like right now, the way I see it is that if the situation gets bad enough, maybe you might see more individual homes going back to coal for heating because of the gas maybe just becoming
I
too
can
expensive.
definitely see that happening. That's for sure. I can definitely see it happening. Because I don't see any other way, as I said before. I think the only way we can get, if we want to avoid Russian energy, we have to start relying on ourselves. And we don't
Right.
have many things apart from oil. You know, we have oil, but we don't have like the oil that Russia have.
I mean, I don't know if you guys are going to ever go back to coal gas. I mean, I guess you could, but it's take a while to rebuild the infrastructure for coal gas.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian, definitely. I mean, that's how it was before.
Yeah.
But then you got to remember a lot of places, like especially this where I am just now. I mean, you can't. I don't see how
Brian
heating
K,
with
that's what
coal
they're
would
doing
work.
in Germany right now. They are going into the forests, but the people are like freaking out, trying to build up a stockpile of wood. Poland, people are going to the coal mines and are buying coal by the ton, so they have enough heating for the wintertime.
I used to always joke about something. I used to always joke about a song. Now we're cooking with gas and stuff like that, and maybe we won't be. That's how bad it is. That's how bad things have really gotten.
Did you have any quintessentially American experiences? Eat anything unusual? Or meet any interesting people?
I didn't know. I didn't actually, because it was just a family thing. But no, I didn't. But in February, I'm hoping that's going to be the case.
Yeah. Well, maybe in
But
February
it
you
was
can meet
good.
up
It
with
was
me
really, really
finally.
good. It was. I enjoyed the time I had there. So. But to me, nothing's really different anymore. Like years ago, things were different. Like in terms, you could go to a different country and things were so unique and different. Nothing's really. It's all the same. It's all the same. Doesn't matter where you
Thanks to
go.
globalization, things are not that different between Scotland and the United States. Okay, you
I'm
guys
laughing,
still
Queen. I
drive
know. I know that.
on the
I know.
right side of the road. You still have 240 volts mains power to every outlet in the home. But other
Yeah, tell me
than
about it.
that, it's not that different.
No, it's not really okay. The voltage and things like that. That's different. But I didn't really think about it when I was there. I didn't really think about it at all. It was just a case of I was there for a wedding, and that was it. You know.
Right. Wedding is probably not that different between the two countries.
No. Well, it was a second one, so
Same basic
so it wasn't a
idea.
big
You go
church
into the
too or
justice
anything
of the
like that.
peace, and
You
most
know.
likely in your case, and said, you know, do you love this person? Yes. Do you love her? Yes. You're married. Yes. You're good marriage.
The funny thing is, Michelle, it was over in like 20 minutes. Well, that part anyway. So
Right.
then we went to the hotel. We went back to the house, and
I
everyone
keep
got
thinking
drunk.
of the scene there from Spaceballs.
Okay.
You yes. Kiss the bride, you're hitched.
That's what it should be, actually. It was the best wedding ever.
Yeah.
Now, I've never been married, so I don't know. But if that's the way it goes, it goes.
Well,
That's the way I'd like to do it.
I still think it's amazing to think that that no, I don't know anything about your new prime minister, but I hope that they do something right to.
Yes, it's a lady.
It's
It's
a
a
lady,
lady as
yes.
well. Her name is Liz Truss.
Liz Trust or Elizabeth Trust,
Yeah, yeah.
but
And I think she might be okay.
I don't
But
know.
she's got a lot to prove, you know. And like anybody that comes in a job as high powered as that, but she's been very vocal, you know, as the secretary that she was before. So if she can put her like mouth into action, if that makes sense, then I might be surprised. But you just never know. She's quite a liberal prime minister, but she's got a
How
lot
do
of
you think
views on
she?
Russia.
I mean, I know you weren't even born yet when Margaret Thatcher was around, but how do you think she's going to compare to Margaret Thatcher?
Nowhere near it. Margaret Thatcher was tough, really tough. I think Thatcher, she's a totally different league, you know. I mean, a lot of these women prime ministers on that party, on the right wing party, do look up to her. But Margaret Thatcher was a totally different level, you know.
Yeah. What do you think about
Like she's
if things were different and let's just say different? Margaret Thatcher was still prime minister. How do you think she would have dealt with the situation with the energy crisis in the UK? How do you think she would have approached this?
I don't think it would have happened. I don't think it would have happened in the first place. It's like somebody like Donald Trump as well. I don't think it would have happened if we had people like that still in power. I really don't think it would have happened in the first place. I don't think Ukraine would have happened. I think something would have been done. I think it's when you've got people like Joe Biden and Boris Johnson in power, it's not helpful. You know, it's not helpful at all.
I think that probably Margaret Thatcher would have said something like this: "We have our own coal reserves. We don't need your fucking gas. We can make our own gas. We can make coal
Probably.
gas. We can distribute that coal gas to our homes and businesses where we have enough coal to provide energy for our own people."
Well, I'd like to think so, but the problem is a lot of people didn't like her because she was very tough on a lot of subjects like crime, which is a good thing, obviously. Things like nowadays she'd be considered racist, you know, which is ridiculous, you know.
I think she would be laughing her ass off at the concept of people saying defund the police.
No, I didn't see anything like that there. Whoever's talking, I'm into glory holes, so I don't know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's alright. Sorry, it's just El Grande Huevo.
El
Basically,
Grande
big head.
Huevo.
Yeah.
He says, Andrew, I see you again. Hello, good morning. Glorious in Syracuse. No.
Yeah, he was basically asking if I've seen glory holes. I know what he's trying to say.
No, he's back home right now in Scotland.
Yeah, I've been home for a couple of days. Thatcher was hard to pop out like Churchill on a pair of panties.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny. I think in a way, you've got to look at it this way. Like, she was the first woman prime minister, so she felt maybe in a way she had a lot to prove, and she was very unpopular. You know, she was very unpopular, but she was, when people look back and thought later on. And now the situation we're in now, I'm
Oh, she
thinking,
may have
oh
been
my God, we
unpopular,
could do
but
this like
damn, she
that.
got the job done, right? That was the important
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. There's movies on her. There's stuff like that, and I think there's one of when the Falkland War took place. I think it's one of the movies when she's in that, and she just basically said, "Sink the ships," and that was it. She didn't mess about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understood the first time El Grande.
Oh, I
And why would
didn't
I
see
want
anything
to
with the
even
glory holes,
look
but
for those? I think you got the weirdest out tonight, or today, Michelle. I don't know what time it is here, Paul. It'll be morning now.
no.
Yeah, she was. Look, Queen of YouTube. I get that. I totally get that as well. I totally understand. She had lack of sympathy for people. It was either her way or no way,
Yeah,
And
but then,
she did cause a lot of division, though. She did. She didn't help that.
well, she obviously got reelected. What? How many times? How many years was she prime minister? She was what?
I think from 1979 to 1989, so it's 10 years.
10
yeah. I'm
years.
thinking that. Yeah.
She couldn't have been too bad. I mean, otherwise
Yeah,
she would have been.
the UK was
well,
back then in the 70s and 80s a very conservative country, and it is to a degree today, but nothing like that. Nothing like then. I mean, she did a lot of things that, as I said before, people look back and they say, "Oh, I wish we had somebody like that back in power again, who was strong enough to actually say F you to people."
Oh, I think that's where Donald Trump is kind of an in between. He's not a super hardliner, but he's not a pussy like Biden is either. I
No.
think he's kind of more balanced.
Yeah, but I'm still hoping he doesn't run. I think the Florida governor would be fantastic for president.
I think DeSantis would do fine because
Yeah,
DeSantis is also
that'd be really good.
a strong contender for the Republican Party. I think that they both could be running together as running mates. I see that potential
it'd
that
be
they could
really
be
good.
running mates.
No, I didn't. I wasn't even there. I was there for like half an hour, so I don't know what you're going on about this. Or
Yeah. Well, I mean, so
tell you what,
right now the way I see it is that
there we go.
I think individual
Easy done.
countries are going to have to start pulling their weight around here a bit and just basically tell the IPCC to go pound sand.
Okay.
Because we need to provide for our residents. We need to make sure our residents are warm and safe.
Yeah, because Michelle, let's be honest, it's going to be a hard winter for everybody. We're only just into the autumn just now. It's only the 5th of September. It's warm, but it's rainy now. We finally got rain. We finally got proper rain.
Yeah, well, we've been getting rain here
It's
too.
nice to see. All right, okay. Well, it's 18 degrees today, so it's
Yeah, well, right
not
now it's
cold.
23 degrees right now.
That's not too bad. I mean, that's still bearable because even before I left, it was just getting ridiculous. It was ridiculously hot. August was horrible. July and August were just far too hot. Even like for us,
Yeah.
we're not used to that. So those sort of temperatures.
So
But this
maybe
is more normal.
do you think in some ways that maybe some more people in the UK are going to get ready to have an air conditioner for next year.
Well, that's what they keep saying. They keep saying, "Oh, this year was the highest on record. This year was the highest on record." But then I think to myself, well, you keep saying it, but you never do it. You never actually change anything. You never actually install AC into people's homes or stuff like that. You know, it's not a thing. You know, it's never been a thing. Yet they still keep going on about climate change, and yet it's really nothing's ever really done about it, if that makes sense. I don't believe in it myself, but that's just me. I think it's just natural.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so like, going to your equivalent of your Lowe's or Home Depot and pick up a window air conditioner for next year when they're being for sale doesn't sound too hard to do.
No, of course it isn't. It's not. And that's the thing. It's like if people complain, oh, it's too hot, well, go and buy a big fan or something. If it's too cold, but that's the worry, if it's going to get too cold, which it will do eventually. You know, and you know it can get very cold here.
Yeah, because I think it's more common for people to die from hypothermia than hyperthermia.
Yeah, like being too hot, yeah. Queen of YouTube says, political violence looms heavy in the imagination of my family. That's why I don't like seeing this country increasingly radicalized in both directions. Yeah, I mean, I can sort of understand it because I have sort of Irish connections as well.
I've always believed that there has to be a balance between the right and the left. There has to be.
Absolutely, I'm a centrist. I've always said that. You know, I'm not left or right. I've always been
I
a
don't
centrist.
think it's good to be too far to the right, too far to the left. That's why I believe in something called the Purple Party. You know, which is a moderate centrist type thing. We try to look at things from both sides and see if we can come up with something that works for both sides.
Yeah. I think that's the way to go. I mean, if you go too far left, it's gonna mess up everything. If you go too far right, it's gonna mess up everything. You can't go those ways. There has to be understanding between both sides, and there has to be an intelligent debate also. There also has to be like as I say, I'm a centrist. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let's get Jojo
hey, Jojo.
on there. Yeah, like I said, I think there's got to be a balance because you can't have too much. Otherwise, it's just like me driving American Truck Simulator where you spin the wheel too far one way and all of a sudden you try to compensate by spinning the wheel the other too far the other way, and the next thing you know, you end up going off the road in both directions. But if you can manage to hold the wheel steady to deal with the curves and the cars, you'll be fine. But that's what it is. It's just like some mad people spinning the wheel too far, too fast, and all of a sudden they're smashing cars on the left, they're smashing cars on the right, and basically, it's not good either.
These things do happen, though. That's for sure. A government must put the needs of its citizenry before its abject ideology. Yeah, I agree with that. Totally.
And I think the problem is the governments lately are kind of acting like, like the despots. They're like, we do what we want, screw you, kind of mentality. You voted us in. Yes, we voted you in. Guess what, asshole? We can throw you out just as easily. I voted you in. You represent me at large. So you should be doing what the American people or the people of the UK need, not worrying about yourself. See, I think that's the problem with the politicians, is they're so focused on themselves that they forget why they were appointed in the first place or voted into power.
I think when people are trying to get into power, like they'll do all the campaigning and stuff like that, and then once they get into power, they change. They suddenly they're like, okay, now I'm in the chair type of thing. they'll be like, well, okay, I'm going to do this actually. I'm going to do this instead. Not what
Yeah.
I said in the first place. And
Thank you.
people need to do what they preach.
So basically, like I said, just like I said with my analogy, it's like, so why don't these elected officials try to stick by what they originally promised? There must be a reason why they do that. I mean, I don't think it's all because just. I don't think it's all because they're pig-headed. I think there's sometimes maybe they thought certain situation would work, and then as they get more details, they go, "No, this isn't going
I
to work
agree,
that well."
Brian. Sorry, Michelle.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. I have not talked to him. I don't know anything about.
I haven't seen him online for a long time. Is he still even on the go?
I think he is. If he's smart, he should go to an alternative platform. Let's get JoJo
Yeah,
on
that's
here.
what I was talking about.
Cursor. How you doing, JoJo?
Hello. How you doing?
Hey, Jojo, how you doing?
Hello, Andrew. How are you?
I'm fine. You feeling better today?
Yeah, I'm okay. I know I've got to do some more stuff this week, but have you settled back home now? Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine now. As I say, this week I've still got off. I've got like a second week off, but it's a case of doing things. I've got a lot of things to do. I've got to get this
Yeah.
cat sorted out, and she's got growth on her back. So today I was getting like stuff because they won't give me Valium for the cat.
Oh, really?
No, and she's a lot bigger. She's massive. So I'm just wondering how the hell I'm going to get her to the cat carrier.
Oh,
I'm sure it'll be
you'll
fine.
manage it.
Yeah.
Hi, Michelle.
You know what?
Hi. I
I'll
hope
tell you a
you're all
secret.
okay.
If you want to get the cat
Happy
in the
Labor
cat
Day,
carrier,
by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
first thing I
Monday.
would do
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
why don't you do this? Put the cat carrier in the floor, leave the door
Queen.
open, and then maybe put her cat food dish in there.
Well, they've said that. They've said pretty much
she-
the same thing to do that. Like they said,
What
put
do
treats.
you mean, Andrew? Sorry to cut you off. I'm really
That's
sorry.
okay.
What do you mean you can't give her Valium? What she has
Well,
Valium?
The last time I took a cat to the vets, she died instantly in the cat basket. Instantly.
Oh no! Oh,
And
sorry
it
to
was
This
hear
is
horrible.
why you
It
got
was
to
horrible.
try to do what I
Not like
said
that.
and just
that. Oh no!
take, just get her used to it first. Like I said,
Yeah.
put her cat
Yeah,
dish in
she's-
there, her water dish in there, and then just so she sees it and she knows, because she's got a good sense of smell. So knows that, there's food in there.
It's just the thought of putting her in. This cat's a lot tougher than the last ones I've had before. Like when I say tougher, she's a bit of I was saying earlier, she's a bruiser. So
Oh,
I'm just hoping
how old is she?
3.
How old?
3 years old.
Oh, quite young then.
Yeah. The other one I had before who died was 8, but she had underlying conditions as well.
Well, you
And,
could do what is available in my area. There are vets that do house calls.
Unfortunately, I think in this country anyway, they don't like to do stuff like that. They're just lazy bastards, basically. But
Yeah.
some of them.
Well, what I'm saying is,
But,
look to
that's
see
what I tried out
if you're
there.
really concerned about this, is why don't you go ahead and look up and see if there's a mobile vet clinic in your area. It might be an option.
Oh, well, the appointment's already made. I mean, it's on Wednesday. Excuse me.
Right.
It's just she doesn't even notice it's on her back. It's like a slight growth. I thought was tough to fear, but as I mentioned before, when I looked closer and cut a little bit off, I should have I took a pair of scissors to her back, did I? As you do. And I was like, okay, this is not hair. This is a growth. So, but she doesn't notice
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, I
think
understand what you're
patients are
saying.
taking
Like,
that every
I've got a
single
dog, and
day
I
and
Apollo,
relax
and
that
like,
way.
if he gets any lumps and that, I always check first. And
Yeah, I should
yeah,
have done that, you know. But
Certainly gonna come up.
me thinking I'm a veterinary expert, you know, I'm suddenly a vet now. You know?
no,
It's a
I tell
cat.
you what, we've got an amazing cat veterinary just around the corner from here. But I don't know how far yours is. I don't know if you've got to take her in far.
It's a couple of miles away, but it won't be that bad. I'm sure it'll be fine. You know, I
Well,
worry
You're all
about
right.
other
Yeah,
things. You know.
you're probably more anxious than the cat because of what happened to you
Exactly.
last time.
That's exactly what it is, and that's why
one of the
I'm.
things I would say is definitely is get a cat crate that's like twice the size or 3 times the size of your cat. And that way you can put the cat dish in there, the water dish in there, and then she won't. Cats usually like sitting in boxes anyway, so that way she might see it as just another cardboard box kind of thing.
That's a
Where
good idea. That's a good way of putting it, actually, Michelle. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I've just been reminded because Tiger put something on my community tab. You know, just look, Tiger, if you're here, for the cat competition. It's just called Wendy Pack 2.0 or just Wendy Pack, and it should come up. If not, I will put it on my community tab.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry guys, sorry. Talk
No,
about cat.
thing. No, I was always more of a dog person. I still am, but the first cat I ever got, she was a kitten. She was dumped in a rubbish bin, and I found her on the way to
Aw.
work. Yeah, so I took her back, and
Oh, bless you.
the second one was from I don't know, it was some area near here, but the first one,
Who
yeah, I
does
remember.
that?
I
Who
know,
puts a, you know what I mean?
I
That's
know,
sick,
I
isn't
know,
it?
I know.
Oh,
It definitely is.
thank God you were there.
Yeah, she was literally found. It was a bunch of alcoholics, and they were like
Yeah.
gathering around the bin, and they were saying, "Oh, there's kittens." In fact, it was more than just one cat. It was a bunch of kittens dumped literally into a rubbish bin, and
Oh,
they were giving them away. I says, "Well, okay, well, we'll have this one," you know.
yeah,
well, you were there at the right time, so there you go.
Yeah. And she wouldn't
Aw.
come out, and I remember like saying, "So what do you do? What do you do here?" Because I said before I was more of a dog person in the past.
Yeah, but you're a caring person, so you
I
know.
like to think so, but
I mean,
I
I've never had a
wonder.
cat, but yeah, because they're not really my. But I'd rescue a cat if I saw one in distress.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd probably do the same with a hedgehog. In fact,
Yeah.
anything like that. Yeah, I
That's what
don't
they
want to.
call us in where I live in Hampshire. They call us Hampshire hogs.
Yeah,
Hedgehogs.
I've heard that expression before, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I live in Hampshire. So that's yeah, I'm a Hampshire hog. You can come and rescue me. And
I don't know,
I like
Brian.
it.
I'll
I
just
like
say
it
this real
today.
quick about Noodles is that I think after he came here, I think he lost it. I think.
oh, Michelle, don't bloody yawn. You're going to make me yawn. I've been sleeping so much the last week.
I had a good sleep last night. Finally, I was exhausted though. I was
Yeah, you probably had a
exhausted.
bit of jet lag, didn't you? It takes about
Oh
3-4 days,
wow!
doesn't it?
And then of course last night, I had a few drinks, so it made it
Yeah,
even
that
worse.
would probably like wear you out a little bit more, but it's a good idea of jet lag.
But it helped. It definitely helped for the sleep.
Yeah, nice one.
But it was good. It was good fun. I had a fun time yesterday, so it was good. So what's your plans for today, Jojo and Michelle?
Oh,
For
just the same,
me,
really.
I don't really have much planned. Maybe I might get some cooked rib again. Maybe I might do some taro. I don't know.
All right.
Could
Just
go
don't
either
taro
way.
me, Michelle. I always worry when you do that.
What's that now?
I'm saying just don't taro me. I always worry when you do that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just sometimes the readings can come out interesting. Um, So
just doing the same really. I've got to attack my washing up. I haven't done washing up all day, so I need to
Oh, I've
attack
got a
that.
heap in my spare room. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned washing. I was like thinking, oh fuck, I've got this ton of washing.
Right. I know. I've been a bit lazy over the weekend, so I need to attack that. Oh, I've got a phone call coming in. Oh, I will be back.
No worries, Jojo. I'm probably going to get some to eat soon, so if I don't speak to you just now
Okay.
or later on, I will definitely speak to you later
Yeah,
on.
sure. I'll leave you a like, Michelle, if I don't come back. But thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Andrew.
No worries,
Love
I'll
you.
see you later.
Love you a bit.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
All right, so she'll be back in a little bit, I guess, because she said she has to do her laundry. I kind of rinse off my underwear.
Yeah,
so
Brian
hang them up.
K was saying you've shattered his mind.
I don't think I strictly I did it, but I think after
I
he,
don't think he had a mind to shatter, to be honest.
I think after he lost his YouTube channel because of his transgressions, I think that didn't help either.
Well, I don't know. As I said, I haven't seen him in a long time. I didn't know he's still on YouTube, to be honest. I used to like him, but he was going too far. He was going too
It's
far.
becoming more like a shock jock.
And it's not even shocking. It's just stupid. It's not even funny. It's not even shocking. It's just, there's people that can do it, and unfortunately he can't. But he likes to think he can. I think anyway. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure everyone's got different ones.
Well, I think that there's clearly a difference between his content and my content. Is that we're trying to have a more intelligent program, trying to reach out to a completely different audience. Whereas he's the kind of guy that focuses on what how do I say this without being insulting? I'm not trying to be insulting or condescending. I think he's focused more for the lower common denominator of viewer.
I think he also has some sort of personality change, but he would say stuff like, "Oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke," but to me, I didn't find it funny, and I think a lot of people are starting now to not find it funny either. They're realizing the guy's just an asshole. Something like that.
Yeah, like I said, I think he's. I think he's like I said, he seems to be focusing on more of the lower common denominator viewers, like the people that enjoy toilet humor and things like that. And
listen, I love toilet humor more than anyone, but his toilet humor is it goes. It's not even goes too far. It's like pretend. It's almost like he's trying too hard.
yeah,
And that's what I don't buy it. I don't buy it. But anyway, I don't want to talk about scum like that. So.
well, I don't think he's gonna go that far, Brian K. But if he keeps getting his channel knocked off on YouTube a long time, I think he's gonna have to find an alternative platform to go on that he can at least feel like he can be himself without constantly losing his
Brian's
channel.
tempting you. Brian's tempting you. That's what he's doing. Michelle, that could be the ultimate video ever. You pushing noodles off breast cheek. I know you wouldn't do it. I'm just joking, obviously. But I'm just
Well, on
saying.
a serious note, I think Brian K. I think that what it is that I don't think I'm his little push. I don't think that's the case. But I will say this: I think that he has a different audience than I do, and I think he's trying to figure
I
out.
wouldn't be so sure about that, Michelle. A lot of them come into this channel as well. And there's no way they agree with what he talks about. There's no way. They go along with it, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's like I think that he doesn't understand that there's at least and it's more than two, but I'm just going to mention the two extremes just because it's easier to just talk about the two extremes. You got the two basic categories of YouTuber video content producers. For this example, the first one is trying to entertain the audience with what they think the audience wants.
Yeah.
Which does not necessarily really work out that way. And then you got the second, which means they do stupid stuff, they do stupid stunts, things like that. And then you got the second group, people who are trying to focus on the original goals.
Oh, I found him. Yeah.
And in my case, I'm in the second group, but I'm a little bit in the first group too. But if they, for me, it's like, okay, like I am as a content producer, have a goal that I created this channel for.
Okay.
But some people also get into YouTube thinking, oh, the money's good. You know, you get the fans, you got the groupies. No, well, yes and no. You don't really. The money's not good unless you go viral. And then once you go viral, maybe then you're going to get the groupies, you're going to get the fans, you're going to get the sponsorships, the promotions. But for people like my channel...
Is it worth it for destroying your self-respect?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think it is. I mean, I'd rather have self-respect than...
I wonder if in this case, if he basically sacrificed his self-respect by doing what he was doing. I see that as a potential where he has, and others like him, have basically said is, I gotta do what the audience is. Damn the torpedoes. It's what the audience wants. If they want me to step on sharp tacks and see me scream in pain and agony, even though my foot's gonna look like a pincushion, that's fine. Well, then you got people like me saying, no, it's not worth it. You know, it's like, I'm not going to do that. It's going to result in a lot of pain, suffering, and it doesn't really going to help anyone learn anything new.
Yeah, I suppose it's not. It's definitely not. He's just a weirdo, Michelle. I wouldn't even waste your thoughts on him.
I don't deny that. I mean, he drives around in a car.
He's clearly not right in the head, you know. Yeah, does he still do that driving about at night and stuff? I mean, who does that? Why would you even drive about? And obviously, people are going to think you're a bit strange. Does he not have any friends or anything like that?
He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't, or at least it doesn't seem to.
He seems a very lonely guy.
It seems like it's always him driving. You know. But like you never really review a restaurant. You live in it. You live in the East Coast. There's so many different restaurants available in your area. Why aren't you reviewing the food? Why aren't you inviting a friend over to eat lunch with you, like we did ABC Pizza? But have one over in your area. Check out the local, food in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
We don't see that. He doesn't do that.
He didn't seem to do much, to be honest. From what I remember, I mean, it was always a case of just driving about and talking absolute garbage about nothing, you know, and then trying to harass people. Like I used to be friends with one of his former friends. I think you know Craig, White Lives Matter, and I stuck up for him, and that was it. That was. Bang! That was all gone. So he hates me. I know he hates me anyway, but
some of Brian K's comments here I'd like to respond to. I'm going to try to get some of it. Let's see here. I really think you pushed him over the edge. You shattered his mind, Michelle. You're going to feel bad when he starts jumping out the bridge. I doubt it because it's coming in. I can't believe that you'd be his last little push. He's gonna jump, Michelle. He full-heartedly believed he would be able to control you with little effort. Your stubborn, closed-mindedness destroyed that motion and really was the beginning of the end for him. He he most definitely sacrificed his self-respect. He mainly
Right.
does it in the early morning. He doesn't have anyone in his life except for online people. Seasons dumped him too recently. Ah, okay. That could
I'm not
be.
surprised. I'm not surprised.
But she dumped me
I'm just
too.
surprised the fact that she got
Because
near
she's
him.
no longer a subscriber here, as far as I know.
I haven't spoken to her for a bit. In fact, I maybe did actually message her yesterday. I think I actually did, just to say hello, but I didn't get any response back. So I don't know. I don't care. It's just the internet for you, Michelle.
Yeah.
And then we can see anything about anybody. And,
See, I'm surprised that, first of all, like, given the fact that even though they weren't dating,
why are you on
I
Excuse me,
was
Michelle.
thinking
Stan,
more or less
why
he
on-
was gonna date Blazing Leo.
I don't want to talk about her. She's an asshole as well. But Stan, why are you on hiding that person?
I'm not hiding. Oh, why is Stan unhiding that person? I don't know.
Yeah.
Good question. He didn't really do anything wrong anyway.
Well, he did. He made some disparaging remarks earlier on.
Well, trust me, we've heard worse on this channel.
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah. So what happened with Leo with him? Leo Noodles. I think Leo dropped him like
Brian, from what I hear, Leo was doxing people or something. I don't know the whole story. I'm not interested either. Stan, there's no need for that at all. I did see something bad. So there you go. That's why I did hide him, okay? So shut your fucking face, you old cunt.
Hey. Let's not turn this
Sorry,
into
sorry,
Noodles
Michelle.
channel. Let's not
I
turn
had to
this
say
into.
it. It had to be said. Sorry. You old cunt, sorry.
But anyway, the point is, okay, so what I see is if Noodles and Leo were pretty close knit as a team, and then
I know they were for a while, but I didn't really get into all that. I thought, oh well. But as far as I know, I'd heard that Leo was showing her tits off to people on stuff like that on I don't know, OnlyFans. I think she was doing it. I think it was by Bill or something like that, from what I remember. You remember Bill?
yeah, I remember.
I'm
But I
laughing
mean,
as
it's
well.
like,
I'm
okay,
laughing.
she
Sorry.
accused me originally of allowing people to spit bad stuff about her, and I didn't. And then
Michelle, fuck Leo. She's an asshole. I wouldn't even worry about her.
yeah, I know that.
She's a liar. She's a weirdo. She's into noodles. So there you go.
Well, she's part of the Boyd. The bottom of YouTube.
Yeah. She likes to think she is, Michelle. She's a little bit strange. She's not quite. I don't think she's all there, to be honest. I think she's got quite a few issues going on, but she's definitely not. She's in that group, you know. I know what you're saying.
Oh, exactly, Brian K. Exactly. I think that's what he was Noodles was trying to do with me. Same thing.
Yeah,
The problem is that I'm sorry, but this Aquarius Virgo doesn't budge for anybody.
But Noodles
Leo
is only
has really
using her. I mean,
self-respect.
Brian's right about that. Brian is right about that. Noodles is only using her for content. And if you call that content, and
Well, again, I think that's what I've said before. Noodles seems to be doing content for the lowest common denominator on YouTube. I don't think that makes it really. I can't even. His channel is too lowbrow for me. I mean,
It's
I
getting
enjoy.
stale. I mean, it got stale a long time ago.
I mean, I like content where, like what we're doing right now, where we're talking about issues that are more kind of cerebral, if you want to say it that way.
I
Where we're
know what you're saying, but what doesn't help, Michelle, is if you engage with these people, you have to stop engaging with these sort of, you know,
yeah.
these people. You have to just totally just ignore it, and eventually it's like it's like a fly that bugs you for a while. Eventually it'll go away, you know. And that's what you have to do. You just have to just let it go over your head. Get your moderators. Okay, Stan, I do apologize for the words I used there, right? But I don't think it's right when people are attacking you for nothing, for no reason at all.
Tiger Kitty, I don't actually know if Noodles or Leo left Noodles or not, but I have a hunch.
Hey, Tiger.
I have
Sorry,
a hunch
Michelle.
that she certainly probably did.
Well,
Bright K brought
maybe
up the
she's
point where
maybe she saw the light. I don't know. Maybe she's finally seen the light and realized that Noodles isn't the best person to hang out with. You know.
no, unfortunately, he's not. Who knows? Maybe she realizes now that I was not the bad person that she thought I was. I don't know. I mean,
Well, that's
she
her
can
problem,
still
Michelle.
visit. I
I
mean, she
wouldn't.
can still visit the channel if she chooses to. She can still interact with the chat. She's not a moderator here anymore, but she can still talk to people on the channel, which is fine. I mean, but I do ask that I ask this of all my audience: is be respectful of people. I mean, we all are different. You know, we're not all thinking the same way. If you want to have everybody thinks the same way on this channel, what you're really doing is preaching to the choir, because the choir's already heard it. The choir already knows what the sermon's about. But this is not. This is a heterogeneous audience of different viewpoints, which is where we get into the interesting views that makes this channel thrive, because we try to look at things from multiple angles.
What? Brian, are you serious?
Okay.
Jesus. If that's true, I mean, yeah, Leo's the sort of person that jumps, and remember she was complaining about the Monica and Charlotte thing for so long,
Yeah,
and
I
then
think
she did
she has to
exactly the same
apologize for
thing.
some of the stuff that she said. I agree. I think she should
El
do that
Grande.
at the very least. You know.
Yeah, Stan, sorry about that, but I just didn't like what was said, so that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know what's happened with Leo. I think she's the sort of person that she jumps about, and she, like as I said, remember the Monica and Charlotte thing, and things like me and the Out in the Wire were trying to do stuff like with the talking
Speaking of
and
Monica,
the
I had
subject.
nothing against Monica. I think Monica was very, very concerned with some valid reasons to be concerned for where this channel was going. I don't
She
see
definitely
Monica's
has good
viewpoint was
reasons.
necessarily wrong. Maybe it was a little bit heavy-handed, but I don't see her as doing to be harm, cause deliberate harm or malice to the channel. Let me stretch my legs. Anyway, I don't see this. I see Leo
But
was doing
my
somewhat
point
similar to
is that
Monica
Leo was
was.
doing exactly the same thing. She was doing exactly the same thing. She was trying to get you to do what she was against, apparently. She was getting you to do certain things, that you must talk about this, you must do this, you must do that for your channel. Monica, to a degree, I suppose, did as well. But then again, there was no issue. There was no real big, massive issue. But my point is, I didn't like it, but Leo did exactly the same thing in the end, and yet she complained about it
Yeah.
beforehand, you know. So I thought it was a bit
Because
hypocritical.
Monica
So
was rightfully concerned about what was going on with my channel at the time with all the YouTube cracking the whip on so many channels, and she was afraid that I was going to end up being another greasy spot on the San Bruno sidewalk
Yeah.
because of what was going on. Because there were people reporting my channel for what? I don't know. And then, so when we got our first community guideline strike,
yeah,
that
I
was all of
remember
a
that.
sudden she
I
was
remember it.
rightfully concerned as, oh no, we got to do something really bad right now before you lose this channel. So she told me to hide the
Did she-
channel for a while.
Yeah,
as
and
I
she
did.
also would go through. She would also go through your whole videos to check to make sure there was
Right,
nothing
I told
wrong.
her I asked her to do that. She did
And I
it.
remember her doing that. You
Right.
know, and she did it. You know, it wasn't a case of, oh, she just did it for attention.
It
or
seems
anything
like
that.
she unintentionally missed one because it turns out it was a video of me installing Linux, and YouTube declared it was harassment. What?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
When is installing an operating system on a computer harassment? Was it because I was installing it on a Mac?
God knows, Michelle.
So they removed that video. They did the same thing when they did another video with an interviewer. I'm like, why? You know, what's your guidelines here? You talk about being fast and loose with the rules. The same thing with the Kiwi Farms.
Apologies to the
Kiwi
language
Farms
earlier
was
on.
mad at Cloudflare because
It's just
Cloudflare said they were
hard to-
terminating their agreement with them. And so, you know, Moon was like, "Oh,
Yeah, Michelle, you did it.
your
did
suspension
ask,
notice. Your suspension notice is vague. Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, so I don't know how vague it was. Cloudflare decided, we don't want to be part of this anymore. And of course,
Monica doesn't talk to me, Michelle. Monica doesn't even talk to me anymore. You know,
no, I know. She kind of got angry at you for some reason. I'm not sure why.
It was because I stuck with the channel. It's because I've came back to the channel and stuff like that, and
Oh,
because
right.
I'm friendly with
Right,
Paul
where
and
she
stuff like that. I don't
basically
care. I don't
left.
care, and I don't care about that. You know, I will talk to who I want to talk to, whether they like it or not.
Yes,
You know,
I did
and that
ask.
was-
I
I
did
stuck
ask
to that.
Monica to help me go through the videos because there were so many of them that we wanted to make sure to find the ones that were not going to upset YouTube, and I actually decided to voluntarily delete the most offensive ones. Sue and Markham is private, and then afterwards we move them to unlisted, and then I would go through them, and if those really, really nasty ones, she would
I'm
just
not
let me
denying
know,
for
and
the
I would
fact
go
that she
through
helped-
them and just zap them out of there.
I'm not denying for the fact that she was helping you, Michelle, but when she was basically not talking to me because I stuck by the channel, in my opinion, and I still talk to Paul and stuff like that, and I get on with Paul, right? So I don't care, you know, and all these silly rumors about
Right,
people doing
and that
stuff.
was
You can't
another
share anything
reason
like
why
that, you
Leo
know?
got upset was because I still continued to be friends with Paul.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to change for anybody, so.
I mean, I do not think that
Thank you, Tiger, exactly.
her
Yeah.
allegation that Paul was the one or someone of the people that was messing up with her bank account information, which I don't see that being a reality. But I mean, she does have a valid concern with Google, you know, with the Google Pay system.
hmm
But I don't see why Paul would do it, because I don't think Paul would do that.
I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. I think people, they might get a bad impression of somebody, but then sometimes you've got to talk to people more than once actually to actually know them, if that makes sense. You can't just like say, okay,
Yes, Paul
that's
has
instantly
been
who
a
they
long
are straight
time.
away.
Well, you
Hey,
know what?
Sky,
I
how
don't
you
know
doing?
how Vladimir Putin is going to feel about Kiwi Farms when Kiwi Farms starts making jokes about Vladimir Putin. Because this is one of the reasons when they were concerned was the fact is that what Kiwi Farms is a centralized troll hub, for lack of a better term, and they're afraid that mentality could be used to influence politicians too. In fact, Marjorie Taylor Greene has already been targeted by groups like Kiwi Farms. So there is some valid concerns about that because Kiwi Farms is so structured.
Yeah.
I know he did nothing to her.
No, he didn't. I mean, okay, there was a few recordings and stuff like that, but it was hardly. I mean, like, if you're gonna be on the internet, you have to be a little bit thick-skinned, whether you like it or not. No matter who you are.
Speaking of Rhonda Church, there's a person I haven't talked to recently. It was Rhonda Church. She's still on Facebook. She's still active on Facebook. But given all the damage that was done to her...
She seems interesting.
I mean, Rhonda Church was a very charismatic, caring person. She was also a Virgo, and she also wanted to see the channel grow and thrive. She saw a lot of potential growth, but then these trolls started going after her husband, after her son.
Okay.
It was getting to the point where her husband had a back surgery. That's why she was home most of the time, because of his recovery. And it was really, really hurting her emotionally to see the kind of people attacking her family like that without really a justified cause.
Yeah, but I would still say, I know it sounds really harsh, but I would still say, if you don't want to see it, don't come on the internet. Don't go online.
Yeah, well, also K-Foles.
Exactly. Well,
K-Foles, which was the one who actually started the key. Well, actually, she was the one who got it organized. I kind of started one too, but mine kind of got nipped in the bud early. But K-Foles was a Twitch streamer that managed to bring awareness about Kiwi Farms out to the public. And I think that also has something.
She doesn't sound a nice person to me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Who? K-Foles?
Rhonda Church.
Well, Rhonda Church was not a bad person. She was just very strong, strong opinion about what was going on and was very concerned. She's a Virgo. What do you expect? Well, I know it's good for you.
I don't know.
Okay. Right now, at the time, I needed that. So, because I was getting basically people were mopping the floor with me. It was really bad back then. Really, go back to 2017 and watch the videos. You will not believe.
God, I thought the Monica situation was bad, but this thing's even worse.
Yeah, it was a lot worse. 2016, 2017. I mean, poor Rondo.
Yeah, Leo definitely does tell a lot of lies. That's for sure. I can testify to that. I testify to it definitely. I used to be friends with Leo on Twitter, and I've mentioned this before. I mean, there's stuff I could put out there but I'm not going to do that because that's not the sort of person I am.
Yeah. Well, anyway, point is...
So backstabbing,
So, the way I see it, like I said, I had nothing bad to say about Leo. I had nothing really bad to say about Monica. I had nothing bad to say about Rhonda Church. I really had nothing bad to say about Charlotte either. However, Charlotte seemed to have a lot to say about me.
Charlotte
that was not complimentary.
I do like Charlotte. I mean, I know people don't see eye to eye with Charlotte, but I mean, I always have, and I have nothing against Charlotte at all. But I'm not going to say anything about Charlotte.
I mean, I think all these people had good intentions. I think that they really should be given a pat on the back for making an effort to try to reform a channel that Kiwi Farms destroyed. People don't realize that I was one of the people that Kiwi Farms destroyed. became a target because of Kiwi Farms.
Exactly, Skynet.
It's
yeah.
been a long battle to get this channel to where it is now, where we can have more serious conversations. And that's something that's important.
Yeah, so is this Kiwi Farms totally terminated now? Is it totally gone?
No, it's in Russia now. KiwiFarms.ru.
Russia. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Countries like that, or North Korea, or China, or something, they probably will have access to things like that. But yeah, they don't have access to things like Twitter or Facebook or whatever,
Well, let's get JoJo back on here. It's already 12:12. Holy crap.
Yeah, I might even get some pizza. I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Let's get JoJo on back on for a few fast ones. I think we have established a couple things. We know that Noodles has clearly got problems.
Yeah. I think that's always been established herself.
And part of it is his arrogance. I think his arrogance became him. In some ways, he sold his soul to the devil that his card of Capricorn represents. And
well, if you're gonna be tattooing someone, don't tattoo me, please. Just tattoo. That's all I'm saying.
Save every dollar can. The coming U.S. and real estate collapse and the resulting evictions. I already know this, Stan. I'm already saving my money for that reason.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a worry, isn't it?
It's already happening in the United States, but it's also happening in other countries too. It's not just America.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And the resulting evictions will create many investment opportunities as well as new rental vacancies. Yes, there will be. But the landlords are still going to want to try to get top dollar for their now depreciated valued property. So don't expect you're going to get an apartment for 50% off. Rent one from us and get the second for half price at Joseph S. Bank.
Yeah, I know.
Hello.
Hey, dude.
I'm back. How are you again?
I'm hungry. I need to get some food soon.
What are you going to eat?
I don't know yet, to be honest. I'm delving into my mind right now, which is not very bright.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
No, I'll find something.
Yeah.
No more takeaways, though. It's like...
We had really bad thunderstorms yesterday. I don't know if you had them in Scotland.
No, but we had a lot of rain. We've had a lot of rain up here for the first time I've seen in months.
I know, yeah. I went to get a takeaway last night for me and my son. It's only next door, like a couple of doors away. And I just got, it was such heavy rain, it was like plonking on my head. I got so wet.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was like proper rain at last. It's like, wow, finally. There's actually rain here.
I'm not Jimmy. I don't know what Jimmy's going to do, honestly. That's a good question, considering right now he's got a lot of other properties he can dump that are probably be better value for him to dump because they're more, except they're out in the middle of the sticks. Except for Great Barrington, that's the only other property that's within the urban setting. But that's just as run down as this place.
No.
I think what does feel weird though, it's still quite hot in some places. So when you're getting the rain, it's like it's like
I know.
It's steaming off the ground. It's really still warm, but not so much here.
I woke up to heavy rain about 2 mornings ago, about 6 in the morning, and it really woke me up. And then it was boiling hot again.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Tiger, it is definitely a reality. You're not going to get your house sold for top dollar if that's what you mean. You'll be lucky if you can sell it for what the appraised value or the book value of the house is. Part
Sell
of
it
the
quick,
reason is the
Tiger. Sell it quick.
hyperinflation and the Federal Reserve raising the interest rates has made borrowing for home mortgage much harder now. And then the people are just aware that things are not normal, and they are not rushing out to buy impulse items like a house. I hate to say a house is an impulse item, but it is if you think about it. Some people will rush.
Yeah, I've got my tent.
Yeah.
I've got my tent out the bank. Out the back. I'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right now, is the banks, like I said, with the tightening of the raising of the interest rates, the banks are being a little more wary because they're not going to be having another TARP program, another toxic asset relief program, which means the banks are going to get stuck with all these buildings that they got to foreclose on, and they're not going to be able to dump them. That's not something the banks want to get back into again. Get stuck with toxic assets they can't get rid of.
Okay.
So that's why they are very, very cautious about lending money out to new people who have, subprime credit scores.
Tiger, there's somebody I know down in Perth. Now, what he does, he's actually renting his flat out to Syrians just now, and he's making a lot of money off it. But I don't know what's going to happen if there's going to be so many people coming over and things. And we just don't know. We just don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, my personal story. I mean, I've got a private landlord. I have had for years. I used to be in a tower block when my adult son was a baby. On the council. It's different. It's the private.
I've known my answer, I think, is unless you're being forced to vacate the premises right now, I would just say is stay in your home until the sale or until the closing is done, because you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to lose money if you go ahead, depending on the sale of your house, or you're still paying rent.
Anyway, my private landlord, Mike, I've known him for 27 years. Like, he's a personal friend anyway. But he's kind of semi-retired now. But he had about 100 properties, and I don't know how. It probably wore him out. That's probably why he's retired, because his brother helped him out, but his brother shit on him, basically. Not literally, obviously, but betrayed him.
God, don't put those ideas into my head. Like, God, dude.
No, you don't. But, yeah.
Well, you know what you could do, Tiger Kenny, because there's always going to be need for rentals right now. If you want,
I cannot
instead of selling the house outright.
No, same here.
Instead of selling the house outright,
it'd be too much.
I would say is rent it out. Rent it out, especially for a short-term rental. Or if you want to do like a longer term rental, you might be able to do that. There are so many people that need rentals right now. Given your location that you're in, you probably can get some pretty good sized rent checks.
Michelle and Jojo, I'm going to go and get something to eat because I'm really hungry. I'll speak to you guys later.
My lovey. Good to speak to you, Andrew.
Yeah, likewise. Absolutely.
All right, mate.
Take care. Same.
See you later.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Take care.
Right. Anyways, how are you doing, Jojo?
I'm okay. It's Monday, isn't it, Michelle? Come on. Rainy days and Mondays. How are you? Oh, happy Labor Day, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Labor Day is just Labor Day. It's just another day to labor.
Yeah, I know. It was our bank holiday Monday last week. Like, I used to work on bank holiday Monday, so it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
so what have you been up to then?
So let me answer some of Tiger Kitty's questions. What I would suggest.
Yeah.
I would say, don't sell the house right now. If you're really, really gung ho in selling it, why don't you do rent to own? I mean, the problem is it's not a sudden sale. That's not instant money, but it's. Even if you just rented it out as a regular rental house, you could make a nice, tidy sum of money and that might be a good option for your area. I don't know how many bedrooms it is. I kind of forgot what you told me, but the thing is that you could probably rent a house out to a family for whatever the going market will bear in your area, or you could just stay there. The property you bought with the 12 acres of land right now, I would just sit on that, because once the prices of housing crash, that land is going to be yours. You could build on it later on.
Yeah. It's whenever I see you, when you came up, Tiger, your house looks really, really nice. Obviously I haven't seen all around the house, but it looks really nice. Your property.
Yeah, I'm saying this is right now is I would rent it out. If you are really, really gung-ho of getting out of that area, just rent it out as a landlady. Maybe have a property management company maintain it for you, and then you get some income coming in to pay the taxes, the mortgage, whatever. And you saw another family that needs a place to go because they couldn't afford to buy a house, could still have a place to live.
Yeah, there's always people looking to rent. Yeah.
It's
definitely.
it's a temporary solution. Yeah, I know. That's where where the rent comes in too. Because you still get income coming in from rental property income. It's.
I just wouldn't want to be a landlady. I'm not being horrible, but it's just like you gotta have a contract, haven't you, and adhere to like the upkeep. But Tiger's house looks nice and solid, so
Right.
I mean, I'm no expert.
I mean, because if you're in the area where your house is, I mean, you don't need to go with a management company. But if you're going to be going to another state and it's not exactly nearby, you're definitely going to want to have a management company to manage it, because you're not going to be in that area. So if the if the central heat breaks, or the toilet or the plumbing, show signs of wear and tear,
Anything.
pipes
and
stop up,
anything
whatever.
like the plumbing, the back garden, and anything. It'd be good to be in the area if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it could be cheaper. I'm gonna say it could be, because right now we're in a hyperinflationary trend. So if you wait a little while, you may actually find, like, say in about a year, 2 years, they said probably by 2025, 2026, that prices will start to modulate downwards to more sane levels. I'm going to say that's when I would go into it, is when you feel that the price per, for lumber, the concrete, whatever you need, is going to be affordable. Right now would be a worse time to build, because the cost of materials is astronomically high. So I would definitely wait on that.
That's interesting. Yeah, what, like getting a builder to?
Yes, what will go down in price unless everybody starts burning it for heat. Of course, don't forget, like that's just the thing with wood. You got people that are right now are worried about the winter coming up, and so the price for wood for home building and heating is going up because of dual demand. Especially now that people are preparing for September, October, and they're starting to buy cordwood for heating systems in the United States, and coal as backup energy resources. This is not the time to start building a house because of that reason. Metals, like a manufactured home, is usually made out of metal. Yeah, you know what? You're going to see the same thing, because a lot of mills have shut down their production facilities because of the energy crunch. So I want to say this is definitely be one of those wait and see things. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go ahead and earn some income on that house rental property thing. You certainly can. Make sure to allow, or make sure that the property management company you choose allows people to pay the rent with PayPal or Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. because a lot of people are doing that now. They're not using cash. They're paying with their debit cards or credit cards. If you can get a company that takes debit or credit cards, it means that it's instant payment for you, instant payment for them, and that's an option. Well,
You'll figure it
unfortunately,
out,
that's the
Tiger.
reality. That's
You're a
what
smart
I'm like.
lady.
Remember, Tiger King, this is what I do for a living. I watch trends. I do trends analysis. This is something I've been doing, and that's the reason I'm really kind of cautious of going out and just spending money on any kind of extra luxuries. I mean, I do have to get some essentials, but if you ask me, well, are you going to buy, I don't know, a luxury? I don't know, like, what the hell? So I was an example, even though it's not really something I'm going to buy, but what's the hell of it? Let's say you want to go buy yourself a secondhand Mac Mini. No, because I don't need a Mac Mini right now. It's not even a high priority item. It's like in the bottom of the list. But if you ask me, do you need things like hygiene products? Do you need... Yes, I need that stuff. Do you need clothes? Yes. Do you need sheets? Yes. These are things that I need.
Wear all my night
So
clothes.
I'm looking at this and going through and picking through the wants versus the needs. But I also said to myself, can I defer some things, or do I have to buy it right now because I don't have a choice?
Yeah, I mean, look, the essentials in our life is like water, obviously, and food, basically. That's the essentials. So you've got to
Water,
think
food,
about that.
most cases air, at least on Earth, is provided for. Unless you happen to be on a foreign
Alcohol,
planet or
sex,
something like
and
Mars,
drugs, and
where you have
rock
to
and
buy
roll.
air by the cylinder, right? I would hate to see someone's air
Right,
utility bill, right?
Michelle, I'm so sorry to cut you off. I've got another phone call coming in. I'm so sorry.
All right, so I'll talk to you
I'm
later
gonna have
anyway,
to
because I
go.
want to get ready to wrap it up anyway. So,
Yeah,
all right,
okay.
so
Love
I'll
you,
talk.
Michelle. I've left a like
All
for
right, I'll
you.
see you
Love
tomorrow
you loads.
then.
Love you a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye, lovey.
Yeah.
Bye,
Bye
lovey.
bye. Yeah. So, how do you imagine what it'd be like on the Mars or the Moon, right? You have to pay an air utility. And then say your economy got so bad that you couldn't pay your air utility, and all of a sudden you all suffocate. At least here on the Earth, air is free. Thank God. I think a lot of politicians will suffocate because they use so much air. I always talk hot air, right? No, seriously. Okay, says Stan says, says, driving from St. Augustine west 5 miles towards I-95, it came to some dozens of new houses, 2,000 square foot homes, spaced about 20 feet apart, far from the ocean, but with prices starting in the 400,000s. I thought to myself, if I'm driving 400,000, 500,000 on a property, it darn well had better be on the beach or within walking distance of it. None of the developments I saw were close to that beach. Tiger Kitty says, I just want a 3-bed, 2.5 bath house with everything on one level. I also want a basement, but I would have it unfinished until I can do it. Stan says, all around me were rusted shacks, swamps, and no amenities nearby like grocery stores, hospitals, gas stations, etc. Unfortunately, Stan, that is what these development people are doing right now, especially companies like BlackRock has invested huge sums of money into properties and for development, because the fact is Florida is become the new California. It is basically being sold out to the very companies that will eventually destroy Florida. I mean, will destroy them because they will overpopulate the state. BlackRock has no love for the United States except for our dollar bills, which are made out of old recycled jeans. They are looking at Americans as an income source only. They don't have any compassion for the American market. As far as what you want, Tiger Kitty, why would you need 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, when you don't even have any children, as far as I know of? Oversupply, too many houses right now, and that again is where the market is going to crash because too much money was invested trying to develop all these properties. A lot of the times, sometimes this happened in 2007. What's going to happen is they're going to later bulldoze down these properties and rebuild them again later on when they think the economy is going to change. It's happened in 2007. Companies actually bulldozed down their lots that they built because they couldn't sell them for what they wanted to sell them for. It's sad, it's scary, it's reality. But if the price goes down enough, maybe, I don't know. There's some parts of the country that look very promising. It would be my forever home. Well, I get that idea. But unfortunately, you're going to have to accept that the situation is as it is. And I'm sorry if that's not what you want to hear, but it is as it is. That's what the trends analysis is showing. This is what the Alaskan prepper has been saying. This is what the Canadian prepper has been saying. This is what Epic Economics has been saying. This is what a few other prepper channels I put on my playlist have been saying. They've been talking all about this stuff. And as I said, I watch the trends. I watch the markets. I watch what's going on. Wait, I get that. No, I'm not. I'm just saying is that because of the economy, she might want to consider building or starting small and then expand as the resources become available. It's certainly an idea. Well, guys, it's been a good morning. We had a great show. We covered a lot of topics. And I want you to realize that I am still keeping my eyes out on the situation globally in the economy and things like that. And but I want you all to be preparing as best you can because things are just not going to go well. You need to remember this situation normal, all followed up. That's not what it originally means, but you can replace follow with your favorite 4-letter word. Situation normal, all followed up. It's just going to be like this. They say probably until 2025, 26. 2025, 2026, when maybe we'll start to see a returning to some type of a normal of some sort. But even that's relative. Yeah, I thought the afternoon show went well. We are having another one next Friday, but that will be after I get done with my hair appointment, which should be home by 3 o'clock, so it'll be 3. And also, same thing for Saturday at 3 o'clock. We'll switch it from the night show at 7 o'clock because there'll be no outside interference. And so Friday and Saturday at 3 o'clock. And then afterwards, if I want to, I can crawl into my bed and take a nice rest and be ready for the next day. So that's what we'll do. I think that works out fine. And then right now we're trying to still get things organized with the World of Warcraft game playing. I'm in mourning as I smoke my last. Why would you say that? Why, you can't buy any more? Oh. Well, anyway. Yeah, I'm a little tired. I didn't get a ton of sleep. I got some sleep, but I'm still a little tired. I got stuck in the, you know, the foxholes of YouTube, digging up videos after videos after videos after videos after videos. Oh, okay. Well, guys, I'm gonna be getting ready to play some more some trucking in a little bit. I see that there's some new truck models I might be interested in, but I'm not gonna change much of my playstyle right now because there's just finally I'm bringing home a nice little game and money, so Alright, guys, you all have a nice day, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning, normal time. Have a nice day, stay out of trouble, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, guys. This is like a 16-inch grinder. Hope you're hungry, because you're going to be eating a lot of it. No. I don't need them. Why would I want to have to put money
Well,
into
I know you don't need it. Well, because you might want big whoppers.
These are the real deal, baby. These are real.
But you wouldn't want, you've seen Rosie. I mean, they're massive.
I know. But then again, we also see, like, other people that got those things. What happens is after you get to be a certain age, everything sags. And of course, we have the tools of trade, the Afane, the calendar, the clapper. Let's call the spirits back real quick.
Golden one. Versus. Fight. That's how we take care of those pests.
Ow! Oh, that's gonna hurt. Alright. And thank you very much for watching. Stay out of trouble, guys. I will see you tomorrow morning, normal time. Yep. Okay.